April 4. Fausto? Here. Present. George? Present. Richard?
Right next to you.
And that's still here. Okay, and that's tonight. Okay, going to see proof of notice. Okay, at this time, any resident, if they have any comment in reference to the agenda. Any comments? None? Okay, we'll proceed. E, approval of minutes.
Who did that?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay.
They're short, but I'll approve.
Let's wait till the county's after their back.
Where'd she go?
How much was it actually?
I don't see anything in four except for a list of homes, doesn't tell you what happened to them.
Okay.
But this is a list of homes and recommendations, doesn't make any sense.
You got that, she didn't send me that email? You didn't get that email?
For what? No, you keep sending my emails to my old email.
Oh, Comcast? No,
AT&T,
AT&T.
I don't have AT&T.
Y'all, did y'all get those emails?
I did.
The whole
Here.
Okay. Okay, she will back sharply because she got everything in.
You know, that somebody wants to be a member of the grievance committee.
Yeah. Do you know that,
NATO International.
that's
That's good.
the gentleman that lived for 4 hours from me. What it is, no peace privilege. He won that.
Okay, he has one house in our neighborhood, and one house in the other side. Right.
That's
So he's indulgent here, huh?
That's it.
I met him. Now we can went around to the houses. He rents the one.
Right, that would be 20090.
Yeah.
That's right. Good. Okay, in reference to the minute, George went ahead and made a motion to approve the minute. It was probably seconded by Richard. Okay, any questions, comment, discussion? All of those in favor say aye. So moved. We're going to financial report. Caridad, could you give the financial report this evening, please?
Sure. Okay, so right now we're looking at the operating account at $333,924.14. And your total assets. Your total assets at $600,000. $62,810.79. And your liabilities are at $92,161.06.
Okay. Any question?
You have to take a picture.
No.
No, any question?
You're currently running at a surplus, correct? We're running a surplus right now?
No, the surplus is $330,000.
No. You're
No,
currently
you're
running at
looking
income?
you're looking at
In the financials, you're
you're looking at the second, number one. We were looking at this one.
right, you're looking at your balance sheet.
Yeah, balance sheet. You're looking at the second sheet?
Yeah, I'm looking at just your income expense statement, which will tell you what you're running at as far as your operating income or loss. And it looks like we're running at a variance positive 23,000. Flip the page over, you'll notice that. And that's hard. Confirm that with Caridad. Right here?
Okay, you're talking about year to date.
Correct.
You're talking about the variance.
The variance, correct.
Okay. It's saying that we budgeted up to year to date 52,000. We liability, we spent 29,000, 23,000 is asset.
Correct, it's your positive variance.
Positive.
Correct.
Right, okay, your question was that?
That's all, just confirming that with Caridad. Just
Okay, I thought you had a question about that.
No, which is a good sign that we're running at a positive variance in our operating account.
Okay.
I didn't understand your question.
Yeah, okay.
I know that I asked it from a property management side of the table, that's why.
Okay.
And that's always what I'm always concerned with, that we're running, at a positive variance in our operating.
We need much more than that.
I'm sorry?
We need much more than that.
We need much more than that?
Yeah, we're running at $2,400 a month. We need at least $15,000 a month.
What is it that we need for?
Pay our streets.
The streets we have, the street contract, have you said the contract? Okay, it's $406,000
In total.
in total. But, okay, right now, based on this, we're at $330,000 plus what the attorney had in escrow. And they also said that if the permit might, and we will get to that, I think it would take another 15 times, 30 more days. So we think that what that can bring up to that, plus what the attorney had in escrow, should put us over to pay that.
And we have that budgeted?
At $0 when we finish. Zero.
No, I understand, but we have the money budgeted currently right now to do the project.
We have $330,000.
We have 330.
We don't have that, yes.
Yes.
We didn't budget it.
Well, we didn't budget it because it was growing. It's been growing. Yes,
Okay.
because we're not spending what we did. From that incident that happened 5 years ago, we've been very tight on how we spend. We've been looking at everything we spend. And also, in that process, we have been increasing. Now, remember that previously to that time, we used to pay about $10,000, but $11,000 to Comcast.
Right.
That's not happening anymore.
Right, we cut that, and that's
So-
expense.
But at that time, I think we was paying about $130 a month. That went down to $115. So we are picking up a little bit.
When we started, we were bankrupt.
I remember.
Yeah.
We pay right now, we're gonna pay for another couple of years, no? still $50,000 a year to get us out of the old bankruptcy. It's worked out, but we've been saving money, not spending. So we can get the street spent.
And in addition to that, we have in a reserve for the repair, I would say, retaining, I guess, the streets. I put in the, maintaining the street, put in the blacktop back in it, I would say about the next 4 or 5 years, or do that again, I think that's recommended in that time. So we have a reserve of close to, what, $56,000?
$5,000.
The one that we have reserved there.
$5,000.
5,600.
We need more.
Well, no, absolutely not.
Maybe next year we can make more reserves.
So, the way I look at it is once we complete that payment of $406, and we will begin to grow the income again rapidly, because we don't have that big expense.
Right. It might also be a good idea to perform a reserve study. I don't know if you scheduled one or not, so that you can get an update and an idea of what the community needs.
For next year. Yeah.
That'll
You might want to write that down.
Yeah, that'll tell us what to save and where, what to save for.
Because we need to have that information by the October meeting.
And community companies, Drew Isaacs, I can give you a couple of reputable companies that perform reserve studies.
I don't want to do that. I won't pay anybody to do a reserve study until we have enough money in the bank to do a reserve study. I won't pay anybody to do anything until our streets are finished. I don't want to do a reserve study for sure. We know what we need to do in the community. We can all sit down together and know what we
Well,
need.
that's what these professionals are for. If you don't want to pay them yet, I understand your concern, but you want to have someone that's actually licensed and qualified to perform a reserve study for the community. That way you know that you have all these equipment, all these items properly reserved for.
And we haven't done that for how many years in Africa? Since you were president, before, what's his name?
When I was
How many years is that?
we did then,
Yes, I know
After
you
that.
did then. I said since.
2010.
And what you do is you avoid running into money pits by not having the money to repair things.
I agree with you there. But I also agree we have to have a study until we get some money into account. We're going to be zero.
Nobody's saying to do it right away.
Yeah, but remember, that's why I said to her, make sure that we have that information available for October, then we can.
Right, it's not spend the money now, it's let's get the information.
Right, at least you will have the information, you will know, we always know by then also what's in the bank, and then we can discuss that further, before that annual meeting in November. Okay, any other question in reference to the financial? I make a motion to approve the financial statement.
Second.
It's been properly seconded by George. Question, discussion? All those in favor say aye. So moved. Approval of the variance recommendation. By the way, Richard, I guess the email that you have, I think you have, oh, she knows, okay. Okay, so, okay.
Approval of grievance committee
They were
recommendation.
publication, yeah. Did y'all have a chance to review the information?
I did.
You have the package?
Yeah.
I mean, we can skip that just for a minute, and then we can, we just look at it. Both of y'all, Pastor and George, had a chance to just review that? What the, okay, once you finish this passage, George, you had a chance to just review?
Yes.
We can go ahead and skip that at this time, the G, and we can go to H, management report.
Okay, so, you'll get a better update, towards the last part of the agenda. is gonna be about the project, the overlay project. The permits have already been submitted, so that's already moving along, with the city.
I think that
So
you
people,
have Luis Urena and Juan Rodriguez on this,
that's okay, I'll add it on. So that's already moving along. Right now, we're dealing with Miami-Dade with the pool. It was a couple of things that they asked for. I sent you guys an email about it. It's just that the pool was cloudy and the pH balance was high. Also, there was a small leak in the pipe the pipe in the pool, the pump. But he already fixed it. I just took a look at it before we came in, and he was able to repair it. Tomorrow, he's gonna make sure that the level of pH is back to normal, so we can call for them to re-inspect and come back to the property and make sure that everything's okay and they can reopen the pool. So those are the main things going on right now. Any questions for me?
Any questions?
No.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the management report. Is there a second?
Second.
Been properly second by George. Discussion, questions, remarks, comment? All those in favor say aye. So moved. We can go to go back to G, which is the overall grievance recommendation. The number tab number 4.
I have a motion to approve.
Okay, it's been motion placed on the table to approve the recommendations of the Finance Committee. Is there a second?
Second.
Been properly second by Fausto. Any remarks, discussion, questions? All of those in favor say aye. So moved. We go to I, new business. Appointment of a grievance member. Right now, we do have 2 grievance members on the board. We're looking for a third. The third member has applied to be on the grievance committee. That is staff number 7. No, 6, sorry. He's a homeowner that lives in 20050. He have a home in Marbella Park, and also he have a home in West Marbella. Do anyone have any questions? Okay, I'll make a motion to approve
I second.
Mr. Ahmed Hanal to be part of the Finance Committee, and properly second by Richard. Any questions, comments, remarks? All of those in favor say aye. So moved. Okay, appointment of the position of treasurer. And before we appoint this treasurer, and I have to put in here, I guess that could be 2A. 2A will be the acceptance of the resignation of Vincent Rosendo. Rosendo. He was the director that was treasurer, office of treasurer. One of the reason that he's resigning is because we have a contract in the house that's supposed to be closing, and he said within a week or two. So then they are downsizing it. We get too much time, so
What for him, he's a big rather house.
the kids gone, now there's grandkids, but they're that way. So, I would like to place a motion to accept his termination, not termination, this resignation.
I second that.
Been properly seconded by Richard, all of those in favor say aye. So moved. Now, we go to the appointment of position of treasurer. As you know, we have officers on the board. So we do need someone to take the position of the officer as treasurer this time. And then we have,
You don't want to spend money, that sounds like a treasure to me.
Yep.
I don't know, I don't want to do that anymore. I did that for how many years? That was enough.
Now it's easier.
I know it's easier now.
I mean, God, need to look at it all himself, but let's a motion on the board.
You're the president, what's your?
Nothing, I'm just a board member.
It was the board member.
That sounds like exactly the right person for the treasurer.
I want to stay a board member.
Don't put me in the
You
fire
know what?
system.
We do need a treasurer, we need a secretary. Okay, secretary needs to be signed.
And I'll take this treasurer position.
Okay, secretary?
Oh, I guess I'll do it.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay, first we make a motion, to accept George Ovion as the treasurer of the board. Do I have a second?
I second.
Been properly second. Any questions?
I say aye.
All of those in favor?
Aye.
So moved. We will make another appointment, which will be 2C. Appointment for a secretary on the board, and we can, I'll make it.
Oh, you're amending the agenda, okay, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
and added that to the agenda. We need to update the agenda, okay? And C, where we can make the, I'm making the motion to appoint Fausto, what's it? Celedon. Fausto Celedon as the secretary of the board.
The second.
It's been properly seconded by George. All of those in favor say aye. So moved. Now we go to 3, street overlay project update given by the project manager. That will be given by Cadillac, property manager.
Okay. So this came directly from the engineer
That's on what tab?
at 6, the last page. So MDC, which is Shane, he's the engineer. He sent this update. MDC, which is the company that he works with, produced signed and sealed plans for Miguel Lopez Jr. Miguel Lopez Jr. is the contractor who is doing the overlay project. Okay, on May 11th, they submitted the plans to Miami-Dade County. On May 15th, it was submitted. It was actually submitted yesterday. So I was just informed today that it was submitted yesterday. So it takes approximately 30 to 45 days for the county to review and issue comments. Once the comments are made, MPC will make any changes to the plans and Miguel Lopez Jr. Inc. will resubmit the plans. So after, obviously, Miami-Dade reviews what we've already submitted with the plans, with the permit application, all of that. Anything that needs to be different, any comments that they have, if we need to change them, MDC, which is your engineer, will go ahead and make any adjustments that need to be made, resubmit, so we can go ahead and get the approval. That's why they say approximately 30 to 45 days. Then the county will take another 30 to 45 days to review. So after those 30, 45 days, they come back and we have 30, 45 more for them to review the plans that we resubmit. So this process will continue until the plans are complete. So hopefully that'll only be one time or, one time thing so that we don't delay the project anymore. So the contractor will provide the HOA with their day of commencement of work and schedule for activities once the permit is in hand. Hopefully the construction work will begin by early July.
This is for what?
The street, the overlay project.
All the streets
Mhm.
in the east. This is the $406,000 project.
Yes, that's correct.
So are we gonna be, I'm sure we're gonna have street closures and things like that, right?
Yes,
Maybe it's scheduled.
Okay.
he's supposed, again, you have a contract, right?
I have to.
Okay, well,
actually
you
look at
got it, okay. In the contract, it specifies that they have to give us, I think, a week or two to let us know where we will close,
Okay.
what they will go into reference to access, and then we will then, go ahead and place it on the homeowner's door.
Okay.
Yes, and then probably post it here and at the post, mailboxes, but we definitely have to post it.
So we'll give at least people at least a week in advance.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
That's good.
yes, that's correct. And also to let them know no one can park in certain parking lot because they will be paving that parking lot also. So, yes. Also before that, we're gonna have a meeting in reference to the box that we have in the street. If we can leave it like that, or if we can reduce the amount of box. Because 406 include all the box there in there. Okay,
So I think we have a lot of speeders as it is in the community. I don't know if we want.
so, well, when we had that, we had a hearing, was it last month or was it last month?
Last month.
There was a hearing, was Monday, 2 days, Monday and Tuesday. And some of the owners that came were suggesting to reduce them. But we said then, because we went through that, we said then, when we.
Cost money to reduce it, if we just need the ones.
All right, so let's leave them.
Yeah, it does. $406,000 is
We need the bolts there
that we
now.
have there now. If we take one out,
It's just-
no, it's more money.
I don't know.
He told me exactly, that's what the question I answered. If he just goes over with the overlay, no, it's the same money. If he has to remove and cut it out,
I was
it's more
thinking, I
money.
think you would have to pay more
And if he
money.
has to add one in, it's more money too.
Can you find out if there's a change order fee so that can be confirmed to reduce bumps? I really don't agree to reduce bumps. We have a lot of people speeding in the community anyway, and.
I'd like to take them all out, but no, as long as it's gonna cost more money, I just.
I know that's what you can.
I'm Jewish.
Okay, that's okay, but at least for between now and the other meeting, it will give you all time to also take the time and just review that contract. And we can.
You did send it?
Yeah.
Got it?
Okay, now, any other questions? No other
I
questions
do have one other question.
about about this here overlay?
No.
No, that's where we at right now. You have a question over there? Oh, okay, now, we're going to K.
We skipped G, that's why I
We
wanted.
did you?
No, I meant
No.
H. That's what.
Management report?
Yeah.
She gave one and she did a
We gave the report of the overlay.
No, she,
She didn't give us that she
Okay.
wanted to buy,
okay.
she didn't give us that she wanted to buy a golf cart for security.
Can you resend the overlay project documents? I don't have it.
She gave a financial report, and she gave a,
Management, all right, so you guys are on the pool.
oh, okay. You didn't tell us about the golf cart that you wanted to buy.
No, I thought
That's it.
we approved
I
the,
saw that in the,
we did approve the golf cart
I saw that was already purchased.
Huh?
Before you were here, before again, we talked about the golf cart.
So
Because-
we're not supposed to buy anything that for the next, until.
If we can have a rover, we can pay $50 or $100 a month.
For the car.
That's why,
and another guard, when you're talking about.
right, that's doing some, that's doing some, when the kids are out.
So what it is that we purchased a golf cart.
We should purchase a security car.
Okay.
We had one before, but we turned that back in because it seemed that it looked like it, I think it was like a lemon.
And the security company wouldn't provide one in their contract?
We're paying them.
Yeah.
I'm on the thing.
Not inclusive of their contract?
So, and that's why we decided to invest in that. And then, but the money is strictly going out for the maintenance.
What are we paying the security company now?
Well.
$12.50 an hour.
The overall security services contract for the year is $150,300?
Yeah, contract for the year, but there's a clause in it that we can, for any reason that we can, cancel the contract.
Terminate? 30 day?
No, it is done, and then done within 30 days. That can be done at any time.
Well, maybe we should ask them to include the golf cart. Kind of Jewish too, they want to. It's okay, but it's still $150,000 a year.
Not that, that's not really good employees. Look what we're paying them now.
$450?
And they pay workman's comp, all of that, out of that. We're not paying them enough to pay their employees. If we get, how much is minimum wage now?
It's like 9, right?
Whatever it is, they're paying them just minimum wage, not one nickel more. You know?
What did the golf cart cost us?
$6.
Okay.
$6,000. We can't do that.
No, we got,
Explain, clarify.
Okay, so we had purchased first a car that was used.
Yeah.
Okay, so the issue is that we were having problems with the batteries. The company says they were new. What we saw wasn't the potential of a new, yeah. So we returned it. We got most of that money back. I think it was over $3,000, almost $4,000. Got that back, deposited that in the account, and then we purchased the one for six. Then we purchased a new one from the same one that we have now, which has been really good, for $6,000.
No, we purchasing it for 2000 or something.
Yeah, 2007.
Well, the only thing I look at, Ernesto, is here. We
I know
have
what
more
you-
money last month than we have this
I know,
month.
I know what you were saying.
And we have more money here last month than we have this month.
That was,
I'm aware of that.
Okay, we're supposed to have $80,000 more this month.
I'm aware of that.
Okay, so we have less.
I'm aware of
Good,
that.
okay, boss. Let's
I'm
go.
aware of that.
What's the warranty on the golf cart?
5.
5 years?
It starts reducing every year. First it's, you know.
You have a wear and tear
Yeah,
policy.
wear and tear, yeah.
I think there's a contract in that. I think that headline, I think, doing it, send it to them and they see it.
Okay,
Yeah, we
now,
need to get
the golf cart is, who's gonna be driving that? The security company drives? You? Well, I know it's never gonna run around here, because you don't wanna waste any energy. So, I would say, right, are we identifying that they are responsible for any damages to the golf cart?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
They know that.
okay. Anyway.
If you get the scratch, they
Okay.
pay for it.
Okay.
Yeah, they know that. That's what happened with the other one too. The other one had some scratch.
Well, that's what, yeah, you're always gonna get that with security.
And they paid for it. We cut it off the top. Whatever we paid, yeah. Not that, was the other company.
You're gonna have normal wear and tear.
No, you are, but it's not,
Yeah.
it's gonna damage them, you know, so the guard's gonna patrol when? When are we gonna
This is
get
gonna
them?
be from 10 in the evening to 6 in the
Okay.
morning. But this is beginning
Summer.
summer when the vacation, when the kids go.
Because then the
In
kids
June?
are.
Yeah, they're out and about.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And I think we're only doing it Wednesday, no, wait. Wednesday till Monday morning. Like those are like
They
the
don't do anything on Tuesday, you said?
Monday and Tuesday, you usually don't.
Well, in the past,
It must be some program that-
in the past, we had it 7 days. said, let's just use 5 days a week. And peak hours 5 days.
Those are the peak days, that makes sense.
Those are
Yeah.
peak days, peak times. Yeah.
That's fine.
And the warranty of the battery is the same, right? Same as the car, 5 years, or?
It starts, yeah, like it starts going down, I think the last one is the battery.
Okay.
But every
That's the one
year,
that goes the
Yeah.
most, right? Yeah.
that one, yeah, I think that one's left to like the last year.
Okay.
And then that's it, because it's a brand new
And how
car.
much are the batteries? Just wondering, because those are the expensive ones of them.
Well, they take six batteries. And new ones, at that time, when I was really looking into it because of the other one, they were, I don't know, there was a company that gave me a number, but I'm not sure how reliable it was, but I think it was $100 each battery, or $100 and something each battery, new, and then we have to buy 6. So, but so far, the golf cart that we have now, I think you guys have had it for 2 years already, and as long as, maybe shy of 2 years.
That was you.
I've been here for a year.
That one?
No,
No, it's a new
no,
one.
that's a
new?
new one, yeah.
And
We bought it from the same company.
and we were paying $200 a month for that. So we looked at the figure and we said, we'd be more comfortable with purchase one.
So Henry maintains it, puts water and takes care of it, and then we've never changed the batteries in that car. It works just fine.
No, and we will be maintaining the second one, too, the security one. What can happen is that when we get that one, I think what can happen is that then we can take that new one and give them the one we have now. But he can maintain both through the day, just check the water. Just make sure that, and he would be our eyes at the gas scratches and gas.
That's not a very good idea.
Or-
If you Henry the new one, Henry really works on his. He brings up, he's the one that he has to scratch his. He
Yeah.
brings up leaves and branches and all kinds of stuff. He's working on his all the time. Better to give the new one to the guard and then he can look at that, you know? Because he can't look at his.
I agree with him on
That's
that.
fine. That's fine, we do that.
And it does work.
Yeah, he works.
That's fine. Okay, now, can we go to K, any other question before K?
Last question on the roving security guard. Do we have a Deggy point system or anything like that?
Yes,
That you see a report that they actually are
we
inspected?
do. We haven't installed it with this new company because they haven't done Rover.
Okay.
The actual, they did it for a week in spring break with the kids, but it was nothing, it was only for a couple of days, 5 days. So now when they start in summer, then they start with the new system and all of the points. So you guys will get electronically like you do the report. Everyone, and you guys are getting the reports, right?
No. No, I haven't received the report, the Deggy report, no.
No,
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 not
no,
Debbie.
no.
Debbie hasn't started yet.
Oh,
The guard,
God report.
no.
you don't get constantly daily reports? Are you getting?
No, really? No.
I do, I want to just stop it.
And is that via email as well?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know that I need it daily.
That's what
No,
I
no,
do.
you're gonna get it hourly. I mean shift wise, every 8 hours you're gonna get an email.
Okay, then don't set me up. That's the way it is.
But it's
Okay,
important for you guys
okay.
to.
What I would like for you to do is for you to receive it, and then I can always request it at any time, but to
Well,
get that flooded in
no.
our emails.
No, I'm the one that asked for this to be sent out.
Why?
Now, because you need to know,
No what?
and if anything concern come up, then you will say, I didn't know. Not only that, the other thing is, once you get it, you don't have to look at it. Just put it in your file.
I don't find it either, I throw it away. I
But
just keep
throw it away, but-
delete.
but
It's a
today-
waste of time for me to keep deleting the thing.
Right,
I go to take the other thing.
Yeah.
You read the reports. If there's something we should know about, that report you can just go forward to, and forward it to us all.
I agree.
If it's, most of the reports just say, traffic's moving slow, pizza came in today, the school bus went around the bend, the police came in. I mean, unless there's something we need to know about, why should we have, you know how much that space that takes up?
That's what we have caveat for. To manage the
Now, my computer is no problem. And my computer, because it goes to my computer, I got it in this junk mail, it goes right to junk mail, and erases itself immediately. But my phone, I have to go each one and erase each one.
Yeah, so please, if you can leave me the way that I am, I would trade.
Yeah, my phone picks them up, and there's no way to not get it in my phone, because it's going to my email address.
All right, so y'all don't want it.
We don't want
None of y'all want it.
it. No, we want
Also, do you want to see it?
Just leave it here.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So we're-
Write that down because tomorrow, I don't want Richard telling me, George telling me.
Y'all in my
I didn't
business, I
know.
don't want it.
Put me in the minutes, don't
I didn't know.
Yeah, put me in the
Put me in the
minutes.
minutes.
Yeah, I didn't know. Or why we doing this? Yeah, okay. This is just a side bar before I go to get King. Earlier this week, I'm speaking about Marbella Park West. Earlier this week, they have right now a dispute going on because of election that was not done over there last year, and they began it there was a do it in February, and they canceled it in middle of session. So they have a dispute in the state. They hope to hear something final by next week, I guess, or by next week is the month, I guess.
Didn't months and months.
But then this struggle for the longest. But as soon as I get home, get information and something from over, I'll let you all know.
Now you can send us
That
an
is-
email.
That's the reason we have not been able to do anything with this together. Because the government, the previous government is still there, but we can't do anything with that. Okay?
So I'm sure somebody filed agreements with the state.
They did. So they're waiting on some results and stuff. So, yeah. Okay, we're going to K, and that's general question and concern or comment from anyone. You can start with, do you have any questions?
Yeah, actually, I have some questions. One of them is the park that used to be by the mailbox, the kids' park, and it hasn't been there a while, was vandalized.
You what?
The little
park that we
park
just-
Oh, okay.
that was vandalized,
Mhm.
do you guys plan on putting anything back there? or-
We hope to do that in the future,
After
but
the streets.
we are requested volunteers or committee that will be able to begin to sit down and discuss how we should go about the park, to give a recommendation to the board.
Okay.
Concerns on the issue of the park is that the park that we have are generally for children. But as you know, in the evening, it's young adults and adults using it. And that dreams to be popular, we just destroying it. And so that's what we would like to committee.
Right, because we can later on, eventually that does happen, you can put video cameras there also, just like there are here.
But this happened before you had the security systems,
Yeah.
with the golf cart going around and all that.
Right?
This happened before that, right?
What,
The teenagers vandalism and all that. It happened
They
before
were-
that.
they just got so
The
big, they couldn't
parks-
fix it.
the parks have been there for a while. Yeah, the only thing is that the reason this one up here was finally taken down is because it became a safety issue.
Well, the other one,
The other one been done for
I think you're talking about this one.
I'm talking about the one by the wall.
about 2 years ago.
Yes, I
Took
know
that one
that,
down.
I know.
Yeah.
And that one was really,
Horrible. But this one here is very bad too.
We
Was
took
I
it
take
down.
my
We took it
kids?
down.
Last month.
Okay,
yeah.
We
yeah.
took that one down last month.
Yeah, she was talking about that one.
Yeah, I'm talking about that one, but yeah, this one
We've
was
had a lot of
awful.
suggestions
So we
for
have
that
one
one.
this
They
side,
wanted
too?
to make a community
Yeah.
garden over there. There's a lot of people had suggestions of what they
I
wanted.
mean.
But
it-
you know, the parks
The park
is
is-
really good for the kids.
The park is a pro. The park is
You know?
Citizen amenity.
the park, we are really, well, I'm not gonna speak for them. I'm strongly in the park.
Interest.
The only thing with that is that I know we're not gonna deal with it until after the project, but also we need that community to begin to sit down and talk. Because at the time, let's say if we don't get a permit, and then those who don't on top, at the time, we have to decide that, we'll get to decide we can go on and we just don't want to hear no one say anything. Because that's why we got to commit it.
It's understandable, but the reason why the parks are vandalized is lack of security. Yes? I just heard you guys are paying security company very little money. I mean, they have to pay workman comp, liability, all that. I mean, just a suggestion, you put a nice gate there, it's gonna show. I mean, we had one of my neighbors, some kids walking through the neighborhood. They busted one of his windows with a skateboard. Why are they walking through our neighborhood? I'm saying, if you put a nice gate there, leave it, just appearance.
This is what we're trying to do, but we can't do it until we get some cooperation.
I've heard from him, so apparently he paid for a gate over a year ago, but he hasn't put it on yet.
Well, he can't, you see,
He can't do it.
he can't do it because we have not approved to do anything over there. And if he do anything, we will take him to court. So they can't do anything over there.
My point is, I'm not saying, it's like, appearances make a difference. Well, you put a nice gate there, security is key in our neighborhood.
All of that, what you're saying, it's true. Okay, let me give you some facts for you to think about, and then in the future you can come back and talk to us. 150 right now is our little budget for us, what we're doing. Okay. Improving security costs and all of that, doing certain security things would create increase in assessment. That's indefinite, which we will have to follow the next year. Okay, that's number one. Paying security for all the things that we would like. 2 to 365 days will be really costly. So we have to see, it's like right now, we have a security in the pool now for the summer, but we have not have them for a certain time. We kind of play with,
Yes,
the only thing we don't play with is the entrance, the garden. But we've been playing with the other things, and now with the roller, we've been playing through the summer with that.
I noticed you have a camera system. How big is that system? How many systems?
You have a system over there, and you have one over here. Here you have, it's about 13 cameras here only. Over there you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cameras over there. So we upgraded here. We had 8. I came in and added 5 more, and then we upgraded to a different system where we have more cameras for the parking lot, for the shop right here, a better view of the lake, and right here that little shack, where there's like the gazebo. Yeah,
How many
there's
signs do you guys have?
Huh?
How many signs do you guys have where you have cameras?
Not the interest rate was
I think there's one right here.
Invest a little bit more on signage, it's cheap, it's not
right
costly.
here.
Yeah, I think there's one
Yeah,
here.
we should put more signage. Believe it or not, people walk around, they see a sign, they say, oh, that camera looking at me, I'm not gonna go in. Signage
Put the
don't
signs
cost
where the
anything.
cameras aren't, so they don't know.
Exactly.
Put the signs in the places that the cameras are
Believe it
not.
or not.
Maybe
you know.
one in the front.
No, you should do
Even-
more, you should do maybe, you're doing 20 cameras, do 60 signs.
Even recently, my neighbors, 3 of my neighbors, was it 3 or 2 of them, that somebody went in their car and took out whatever they had in
Believe it
their
or
car.
not, it makes a
The
difference.
guy right behind
Makes a
my house, I'm like,
I mean,
We didn't even put fake domes.
yeah,
I do that all the
Yeah.
time.
yeah.
We put fake domes
I
even
mean,
in
it's
the
not
mail,
costly,
mail
it's
areas?
really, no maintenance needed, you know, you do that, you could put one sign in every light pole. You might not know.
On the
Maybe
video,
make a
on the
difference.
24-hour video surveillance, it's a very good idea.
Yeah.
It's
It
good
might
time.
scare somebody away, it might do something.
Believe it or not, you know. it makes a difference.
I think it was something to the whole neighborhood. Maybe I should look out there,
Okay, what I need you to do now is to talk with the attorney about that.
Yeah.
You know,
You do it on the common areas, you do it on the common areas.
Well, this neighbor's dangerous.
Okay.
I know what you're saying on the privacy and the privacy part.
No,
No, it's
but if
false.
you said 24 hours that something happened in a spot that we don't have a camera,
We're gonna get in trouble.
Well, because you're not gonna say that this is under 24-hour video surveillance, the community is under
Yeah.
24-hour video
Yeah,
surveillance.
there's
You're
a
not
legal
just
term.
specifying.
yeah, that's legal. So we have to
Right. Yeah,
make
legal
sure.
term that you can put that you don't get in trouble for if, or if not, something that might happen, you know?
Right.
But you'd be surprised, the people that jump the fence, normally, I would say 50% of them actually look straight up at the camera. As weird as that may sound, and you're looking at them, and at least I'm looking at them in the video, and I'm like, if you're looking at a camera, that's not enough for you? Like, do you think they're
He's not gonna
fake?
do anything.
They want to be on camera.
He's not gonna do anything.
Well,
The dog that barks will not bite. The one that's gonna bite you is not gonna do anything.
Is it gonna
Won't
do
bite you. You understand? It's just, it's a challenge. They're challenging you to see if there's a security looking at him, to see if somebody goes and approaches him or anything. So it's the game.
That's
It's the
usually a
game.
probing entries with that, that's usually correct.
Correct, correct.
They probe the community to see if
To
there's
see
any
if
action.
any, is there any action, correct?
we do need to have a meeting with the captain or whatever from the police department. Because we want to make sure that when we put in a case, it's addressed.
To go back to his question a little bit, as far as the gate is concerned, is that something that we're trying to negotiate with the West so that we have two multiple gates and don't have somebody standing there just letting
Okay,
people in?
the gate issue is that we discussed in the past.
Mhm.
Is that what we want to do here, I don't know, you're all acquainted with Macon Greens. They have a south entrance. The south entrance is strictly a man that is only for the
Yes.
resident.
Correct.
And then they have this wall, okay? Our plan is to do the south entrance over here and man over this one.
Okay, so then this would be just,
That's
Right.
correct.
Yes,
Yes,
that's
yes.
right, with gate and everything like what we mentioned.
okay.
And,
Then we could move our guards over there, and then you can have a guard that sat and looked.
Yeah, no bars here where,
Right.
And then we could split the cost.
Yeah,
that's
right.
the idea, that's the idea. The only thing is that we're waiting on this thing to clear, because we can't work with the
Can't
guy,
do it
that-
without-
Way to work with.
we can't work with the gentleman that's doing it.
Okay, understood.
That's been the problem, and that's why
That's a good idea.
we have not done anything in reference to that. We just trying to do the best we can right now, because that's a leak over there right
I mean, that is the way to go.
But
Alright,
in
so-
reality, that
Really
affects
good
us, this side, and everything. At least everything else, you could do whatever he wants, but that affects us, that entrance.
Well,
Well, it does now, because I send all of my guests over to that entrance, not to this entrance, because all they have to do is come.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
But I agree with you, but, you know, that's the problem, he's the problem. And that's why we have not moved forward with that.
And also on the parks, it's an amenity, it's part of our investment, it's also helps the community, so, I mean, you seem to be interested in it, that's something that you guys can help us, you know, get.
Well, we thought, when they took it off, I was like, oh, good, maybe they're gonna put another one, and I just kind of waited.
Well,
Oh, I guess it's not.
You know, when we removed that one, that's when we just took over.
Mhm.
And we couldn't do nothing with that part.
We had no money.
We don't know what,
Yeah,
so
I know.
we
I know
removed
the
it
story,
there.
yeah.
But that was.
But my kids recently were using the one that's here, and that one, they would come out of there black.
how about assessment?
It's very bad.
Send out a notice of assessments to all the,
Well, in issue of assessment, I would say we have to look at that for the end of the year. I'm not gonna
we send out a small assessment every month, $5 $10, believe it or not, makes a difference at the end of the year, you know, you have enough money to go ahead and build.
We might have to do that anyway.
No, that's what I'm saying, we might
We're trying
not,
not
we are going, we probably have to, we definitely probably have to go that for next year,
Yeah.
but because of the project, and because of what we're doing, we don't want to, create any scenario.
Well, and also special assessments are a negative connotation in the community. They also actually hurt your values. They give you a bad reputation out of the community. I mean, we already just came out of bankruptcy. That's already a bad enough reputation for us. I don't really like special assessments. I'd rather see an increase in our maintenance than a special assessment.
About notices, or call everybody for a meeting, call it, you know, just let everybody know. Just let everyone know that there's a meeting.
No, this meeting tonight,
This is the most we've had.
this is a standing meeting that every month.
I came because I'm interested in something else,
Right.
not because nobody sent me a notice. I mean,
No, but
somebody
I
told me
get
something-
the notices, you don't get
Oh,
them.
well, I'm sorry, the wife is the one that has the financial.
Right.
Small man.
Do you all have any other ones?
Yes, we do. We have a little situation. We recently purchased an RV. We got a notice the other day, because I was supposed to keep it at my friend's house, and we bought it, and I was gonna take it to her house, and for some reason, her husband, you know, kind of had a heart attack and whatever. So I had to keep it here for one day. The next day, I woke up, I found where to place it, you know, I stored it somewhere else. Anyways, we are aware that we're not supposed to have it here, and that we don't want to park it here, we understand that. But we're having an issue with, we want to be able to like bring it in, to load it up and leave. And we don't want to get in trouble for that. You know, we're a family of 5, and we just can't take everything in the car.
Is there a
You
rule
load it up.
against just bringing it in like
Now,
that?
the manual says that we can't,
It's prohibited from even coming in the community?
that's my other question too. Because on the
The bylaw.
yeah, it says that we can't park it, we can't bring it in to work on it,
What if we have a guest?
but we're not bringing it in to work on it, I'm not parking it, I'm just loading it.
I understand your point. You need to understand one thing. Rules are not made for the people.
No, I know.
Oh,
And,
obviously.
well, the reason I say that is that once you go one way, someone has to stay, might have to stay the other. Tomorrow, no one can complain.
Absolutely,
Board of the road.
but do we have it in the bylaws? I mean, she's saying that it
No
says you can't park it.
visitors
I would
Does it
just like
say
to know
no
what it
visitors
says,
in
No.
what the exact description of the bylaws is, which is what our bylaw is.
What bylaw, it's in bylaw, it's prohibited of these property.
Okay, it doesn't say, do not drive it into the association.
Yeah, it
It
doesn't
does
say
not say, it
nowhere.
says parking or storage. Now, what is
But
considered
it
parking
says
or
that you
storing?
can store it in your garage, so that means that you are allowed to bring it in. If it's
You
small
can
enough
keep
to
it in
store
your-
it in your garage, you can store it.
Anything that we cannot see, put it in your garage.
But she not done that.
But if you see it when I'm driving it in,
No.
but if you see it when I'm driving it in, you're seeing it. Now, if I stop with my vehicle, if it's loaded on my vehicle and I stop and my vehicle is running for me to load, is that considered park or storage? No. Because if the city tells you no parking, and if you're in the vehicle or the vehicle is running, you're not actually parked.
Right.
You are stopped to pick up passengers or whatever, or load.
And at that point, the signage would have to say no parking or stopping. And
Right.
so can we get the language of what it says in the bylaws so that I can have my listen
Well, the
understand?
language is there, we just have to put it up. The language is
But what
there.
does it say? Is
It's
it parking?
prohibited, it's just prohibited.
It
Those are
says you
prohibited.
cannot park
My-
it,
Or store it.
or store it, and it says you can't bring it into work on
My
it.
point is, I don't have a problem with anything. My problem is who get money today. If that what it
Can I
says,
make a suggestion? Mike?
what it says in the bylaws is not about what they're saying.
Can I make?
What it says in the bylaws is what Cadillac can do tomorrow.
Can I make a suggestion? If we get, maybe, without spending a lot of money, get a temporary permit for a RV to come in, spend a couple hours, 2-3 hours, and go home?
Who been
Well, security guard.
That's the thing.
The security
No,
guard.
see, that's the thing. You say security guard never get money to that.
No, but the security guard will take the person's phone number, no, put it on the
But
thing.
if something happened because it was an emergency.
Well,
No, I'm just talking.
No.
Because we need to think about everything in general.
It's good to debate and disagree,
Yeah.
but I do see his point. My first question is simply what is the language in the bylaws? If
It's
I
right,
can
I
just.
have a copy of it.
Okay. So that can at least answer my question. Then as far as this suggestion is concerned, it's just a simple registration at the gatehouse. That an RV has come onto the property at this time to this address, and, you know, we can follow up on it in several ways. The report can go to you, Monday morning, you can send a guard to go inspect, or you can physically go do it and see if they kept it on the property, and then there's a violation.
Here's, the green, what's in green is, okay, it says,
Yeah, because I'm not gonna give her a read that. I just got these glasses.
okay, in order to maintain the high standards of the subdivision with respect to residential appearance, no trucks or commercial vehicles, boats or house trailers, unlicensed or inoperable vehicles, or boat trailers, or trailers of every other description, including campers or vehicles registered RV, shall be permitted to be parked or stored at any place on the property other than in enclosed garages. Nor shall any motor vehicles be parked on any portion of the property for the purpose of repairing or maintaining the same. The prohibitions in this section shall not apply to the developer, which is, I guess, people that are, that's it. The
And
rest-
it doesn't say that they can't
doesn't
come
say they
in.
can't come in, so they can't park.
So we can't infringe upon their rights.
They're not infringing no one's right.
Well, if we
If-
are, if they can't even come in.
No. If they come in.
You're having an
if they-
issue
no, my question-
with, which I totally understand, which is, if you give us permission, how can you monitor that? We need to work on that because
We will. See, that's the problem, because when you say we need to work in that, we need, it's talking about money. If y'all go with money, we go far. I don't have no problem with anything
why would
because,
we need the money?
Why would we need money?
because we're not talking about your.
No. Well, I think it's
Security. We have a bad.
With all due respect to everyone, it really shouldn't be about any additional monies. This is a security job. We do pay $150,000. I know we don't consider that to be a lot of money, but it is in some circles. And
It's money.
it's money. If we're paying security and they come in, they're home, I don't know what your
I live in
address
this
is.
address, you know, I'm.
They have to be registered, security has to file a report that an RV came in for their home address. That report should be followed up with the property manager on Monday. She can always double check one way or another, I don't know, you do routine
You have cameras
inspections.
also
If
going
there's an
in.
incident with the RV, oh, this RV came into the property, he's liable for whatever accident happened, and, you know.
Well, but that's the case with any vehicle.
Exactly,
So,
so, you know,
I think what he's more
That had to do with
concerned with,
accident. This had to do with, what he's concerned with, then they gotta send a guard to see if you removed your RV.
but we have the guard anyway.
well, listen,
No, you don't.
your problem is
We have
not
our own
the cars,
problem.
because you have
I know,
enough
see,
neighbors, you have enough
again,
neighbors that.
I can make sense of this.
Let's look at this clearly.
The property manager looks at our neighborhood and makes suggestions to a committee, that's by law, first, that we want to put fines on all these houses for doing this. Then they have to go to a hearing, then it has to come back to the board. It's a lot of work, it's not something, And so she sees your house this month. She's not gonna see your house again for 5 months, maybe later. Maybe she'll have to see it again if somebody calls and complains. That's, to monitor these things is not easy. It's not easy.
Yeah,
We need to
I
figure out,
understand.
that's what I said, we need to figure out
We
some
can
way.
with the instrument.
Yeah, to get a permit. Here, we're gonna give you a permit for a day, if it's not out of here in 24 hours, you're gonna get a fine.
That's it.
No, come back and bring the guard your form, no, and show that you've left the property, and that's it.
That's an instrument right there.
I mean, the security guard is not gonna charge you extra for driving around and noticing that the vehicle is still in
The
the premises.
security guard is not driving around.
I know the security guard is not the one that gives the notice to the
No, no, no,
association
no,
of my
no, no.
board that my RV.
We are not paying
That's fine.
$150,000 in security 365 days. We're not paying that right now. Why? Because we are paying with, we only pay really 365 days.
But there should be a way
Everything
that we
else-
should, we can get in and get out.
Everything, okay, I understand what you're saying.
I think this is something.
Don't think I understand their point clearly. And I'm not concerned about their point. I'm concerned about the other 384 residents. Because when we talk about something, this is not about one or two or three of us, but it's about the community. And,
Absolutely.
The rover is only going to be working for X amount of months. There's no more rover after that. We can, if we begin to have problems with other
So you should make the 385, the 384 other residents, you send out a notice and let them voice their concern. Because I don't see anybody here. I don't see anybody here.
If they don't come back.
All I know is I got a notice
And he staples the two
for
together.
having my
and
RV
they're
parked
coming
in front of the house
back.
for 2 days. And the following
Automatically
time I
send
brought it
them,
to the road.
okay, fine.
You have a
For
notice.
not bringing the thing back, and that's easy.
Listen to this. He received a notice for having his RV parked.
No, I not a notice, a violation. If I don't show up to a meeting, I'm gonna pay $100.
Having your RV parked.
Not parked, brought it in, I parked it, I had, so, a security told me, you cannot have it on the side. I brought it to my driveway, I said, you know what? The next day, it was out. The following time, I brought it to load, left. It just happened a week later, I got a fine. $100 fine.
Did the
You
RV?
can't get a fine without going to the committee.
Did the RV slip a day?
Not the second time.
No, they had second, third, or fourth.
The first time it slipped one night, I parked it on my driveway because it's my property.
Not debating
Well,
that.
you're making it, you are making it.
No, I'm bringing,
No,
I'm
you're not,
bringing
you're
issues.
not, you are, what you're trying to do is, you trying to make it my fault because the rest of the neighborhood looks like crap, and I bring my RV into my property, which my property is one of the best looking property in this neighborhood, and you trying to put it on me that because I parked my RV in front of my house, the rest of the neighborhood looks like crap, and the other 384 neighbors are upset because my RV was parked in front of my house. That's what you're trying to come at me with. And that's why I'm here. I want to know your concern. I want to know what is the problem. The rest of the board members there's no complaints. You're the one that keeps on pushing for it. That's fine. You don't want me to bring it, I won't bring it. That's fine.
What is your name?
My name is Ray Hernandez.
Ray. Listen to me because I think you misunderstood what I said.
Completely. Please, let me know.
Okay. How long y'all been living in that community?
11 years.
11 years. Both of you are aware of the bylaws of the community.
Yeah, she has them right there in her front.
Okay. Okay.
Excuse me a second.
We are aware of the bylaws, and this don't have nothing to do with you. Again, this don't have nothing to do with you. But there are homeowners that might bring a boat, might bring Winnebago, and they just sleep overnight and clean it underground. So the violation is issued. But the violation citation is issued to advise the homeowner, none of the violation carry a fine that is applied to your account.
Right.
Until after you come to a meeting, they advise you, and they say to you. in the
Basically, they're just
future-
telling us not to do it again because
Right.
we're gonna get
Right.
fined. But that's why we are here to talk.
Right, but I'm explaining, I'm explaining something now. My point here is, it happens, okay, it happens.
People
And
abuse
this don't have nothing to do with you, again. My point here is, things can be done, but anything that we do that is not followed within the bylaws, it can require some type of work. And any type of work can require some money in the future. It's easy now to talk to them, it's easy enough to give you a permit, give them permit to bring it in. And it's easy to do that. But tomorrow, you're gonna have to same permit to.
Well, here's the only debate that I have on this subject, is that if the bylaws do not clearly state that they cannot bring in the vehicle, boat, I mean, like, let's say I own a boat, and I went out boating, I keep it somewhere, but I bring it home and I wash it down, or whatever it is, I have fish, I take it inside my house, I can't even do that, even though the bylaws do not clearly state that I cannot, then that is infringing upon my rights as a homeowner. And that's what we're not in the business of doing as a board of directors. Now, if we can create some type of a system where they receive a daily written permit or something like that, that they have to give back to the guard on their way out with their RV, with their boat, then at least we have some kind of system in place that, you know, we hold them to a rule and repercussion. If they don't give us back the permit, then we issue the fine that it says it on there at the bottom of there.
And they can write it when it went in, when it went out.
That they sign off and they say, if I do not turn the pass back in or the permit, then I will be assessed a $50 fine.
Or $100, whatever.
Whatever the number is, that's irrelevant. The point is that this at least puts a system in place where we are holding the homeowners accountable, and if they don't follow the rules, that we will then go ahead and place, not a fine, a fee. So, because if we follow the fine, we've got to go to a grievance committee.
Yeah, we can pay the fee needed.
Oh, we can charge a fee, absolutely. Florida statute does allow it.
Not do that.
Trust me.
The fine have to be placed,
It's not a fine, it's a fee. A fee for a permit. We can charge a fee.
Yes.
That's absolutely, believe me, I know the Florida statute.
You're talking about the fee, for the permit.
And give them a permit,
Yes.
and you say to them, if you do not turn your permit in within 24 hours, the fee is X.
Then what needs to be done is put together a rule and regulation.
Do we have a set of rules and regulations?
It doesn't say.
Not for that. That needs to be placed together.
To park or store.
And
That's
once
it.
the.
And your RV fit on your environment.
Regulation is placed together, and we vote on it, and then we leave it up.
Okay. So do we haven't adopted a set of rules and regulations for the entire community based on the bylaws?
Not for that.
Yeah.
No.
I'm gonna be also asked to say that.
Yes.
So, in our rules and regulations, I'm sure we have a section of parking or vehicles or anything like that?
No, what I'm saying is, for that, we have to create rules and regulations for that. We have a rule and regulation that we were told you if you uncommon. We have rules and regulations for different things. For that, we have to put the rule and regulation.
We have rules and regulations?
Rules and regulations separate from your bylaws?
No. So we don't have one
Not that I know.
in the rules, if we don't have a separate adopted rules and regulations, then this would just be a form that we would adopt in a board meeting.
No, you didn't have
She's talking about.
about driving There's one that speaks about the towing, or one that same one, that speaks about driving four-wheelers without license plates. What they call those?
Right, but is this-
Those are rules and regulations, I'm talking rules and regulations.
Right, that's
That
what
was
I'm-
not in the bylaw.
But she's telling me that we don't have.
You have a problem there?
No,
I know, I have.
maybe before my time,
It's before.
but I
Can
haven't seen
you,
it.
all right, then, so then that's another request, please.
But that particular thing, yes, we just need to write exactly
Yeah,
how it needs to be stipulated, then we approve it.
And a time
maybe-
frame.
And it means to all the.
well, hold on, and that's what we may not need to really, if all we're doing is creating a form.
No, but you're talking about, this is what I'm understanding.
Right,
I'm talking
we can
about
put a sign on the thing.
rules and regulations that we're saying this is been a law.
If you have, okay, rules and regulations need to be mailed when you are changing or you're adopting a new set of rules and regulations. If all you're adopting is a section or a form or a procedure, all you do is do it, and we vote
We
it
vote
up
for
amongst
it.
ourselves, and then we
We don't
provide it
have
to
to
the
send it to
homeowner.
every homeowner.
Upon the request.
But the security guard can say right at the gate, just like I do at my stepmother's house, no, you can't come in here.
Right.
If you can't come in here, here's a form, and we're gonna write that down. You're bringing an RV in, you've got 3 hours. You gotta bring this form back to me within a 3-hour period.
Okay, okay.
Or the homeowner automatically, which I'm calling in, talking to the homeowner, automatically is getting fined so
We're
much
not
a
calling it
day.
a fine.
Huh?
We're not calling it a fine, because we're gonna review this, we're gonna call it a fee.
We'll call it a fee. They're gonna pay so much a fee a day. No, there you go, you don't have to do that to, so.
We don't need to mail that.
Whatever you have to do, you gotta write.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm saying.
And we can adopt it right here next month.
We can fix it, we can fix it.
That's what I said, you have to write something and we have to approve.
So, yeah, would you,
Put that on the agenda for next month, and see what
Next
kind
month.
of form we can come up with that.
I think it should be sent to all homeowners. Like
If you
you
have to say driver, you just can't say
Right.
one or two homeowners, because this is something that,
But can't you attach it to the email you sent to everybody?
Right.
In the letter
Okay.
thing, just attach it?
this is
Sure.
something that once I start doing it, Fausto see my boat go through, he can ask questions, and then let's say, and that can say, yes, the board approved this and that's.
but you know they're doing it anyway. They're bringing in commercial vehicles.
Yes.
They're, I mean, people are doing it anyway. So at least put a system in place where we
Would that be
can.
better for us, actually?
Yeah,
Mhm.
People are doing it anyway, and they're about violation of set out and they're going to the crime.
if we can.
My point to you is, you just can't do what you're saying. I know it.
Well,
All the
no,
members know.
but we can,
I'm not
we
talking.
can email it. We can email it in the, however communication you have.
Well,
It's gonna be in
somebody
the agenda and it can be a discussion.
Yes.
No, I'm talking about, the approval comes from us. I'm talking about after it's approved. That's what I'm talking about. You can email it, but you have to send it, you have to mail it.
Right, we can send it, attach it into the thing that you send
When-
everybody,
when-
and whoever has an issue, whatever, they can do
When
to the
you
next meeting.
promulgate the rules and regulations, which I don't know if we even have a set. She doesn't know, she's not aware of it.
Sure.
When you promulgate, the board of directors has the right to promulgate the rules and regulations from time to time as needed. We are not making a huge adoption or change to the rules and regulations. All we're doing is putting a new procedure in. And we can notify the community, whatever.
But that's what I'm saying, we're
Yes.
talking about the same thing. I'm just saying to you,
Exactly.
we have to
will.
notify.
Oh, we're not saying we're gonna stay silent on this.
No,
Absolutely
I'm not saying. My point to you is, that's what we was talking about. Once this is done, we notify it.
Absolutely. Well, we should actually put it on the agenda, like Richard said, for the next board meeting, so that people will have the right and the ability to come in here and talk about it. And that way, we can make it
Our
good
only
for the
problem
entire.
right now with doing this immediately is because we can't spend any money even to send notices to everybody in the neighborhood. We're trying right now to get our streets done, which we don't have enough money to do,
Okay, but I'm saying.
without
you
charging
guys send the
anybody
email-
anything.
You send the email, on the email, you guys talk about everything that was discussed in the meeting.
We can do it on email, but email is not legally notifying the whole neighborhood. Because there's a little lady over there that doesn't have a computer, and there's some little old man over here that doesn't have a computer. That's legally, it's not the way, you have to actually mail a mail. We can do an email, which is nice,
And post it on the
and
agenda.
say, these are part of our rules and
Right.
regulations. We can post it on the mailboxes, it's not saying everybody's gonna see it legally. And what Ernesto's trying to say, and this has happened to us many, many times, people come in here and fought, you know, well, my neighbor does this, and my neighbor does that, and your neighbor's been fined, and your neighbor's is in the attorney's office, and they don't care, they just see it, and they wanna fight about it. It's not a rule, it's not, just our law, our bylaws, or our bylaws. I think what you're saying is right, I think that we should allow, I know in my family's ever driven an RV, but if my little grandma from Minnesota wanted to come down and visit her great-grandchildren in her RV, I think she should be able to come in, park in my driveway, visit my grandchildren, go back to her hotel at night, and park in the hotel parking lot. I think that we should be able to find a way to do that.
And we could, and we could.
And I think as long
I
as
mean,
we're,
we can
as long as
post
we're
it,
adopting
and
that, we
remember
might be
We used
able
to bring
to
the
get
boat,
to
and go
that
up and leave, and we
with
never had an issue.
commercial
There's
vehicles
nothing wrong with
when they come in. We might,
I don't have a problem with anything.
No, we just need to put a system.
I don't have a problem with anything.
we might be able to.
Right here, I'm just thinking, I'm future. I don't have a problem with anything because really and truly what we're talking about and the other thing, it really don't affect me personally because it's only me and my wife. So it don't affect us because it makes no big thing, you know.
No, we have to think.
But when I think about things, I just try to think community-wise.
Absolutely.
That's how I think.
That's our job.
The bottom line is that, and as you know, is 2, 3, or 4 residents come and say something, it's fine, something might prove something or might not, but tomorrow is when you begin to get the complaints. And then you gotta deal with it.
But again, so if the bylaws clearly say that it's just about parking, storing, working on, then there's really nothing in there that gives us the teeth to say to people, you cannot bring it through. You cannot come and load or unload or something like that. You came from a trip from the RV, you can tell me you can't drop me off either.
I'm saying is, it's fine with me.
We'll put
Let's draft what you need to
Put it
draft.
on the agenda for next
We'll put it on the
month.
agenda for next month.
You
What
draft
kind
it,
of form we can
and that's-
figure out.
And
Yeah,
this is,
it's
and
fine
this is
with me.
for a recreational vehicle, commercial vehicle, anything that moves in and out that is not allowed to.
no, wait. We can have George, and coordinate drafting. Let him send it to us.
Here's what I'm
Let it-
thinking is.
Well, that's something you would
he's-
Let him send
We're gonna
that.
let a recreational
You
vehicle
can
on the
send-
property.
You can send,
On property.
wait.
And a guy with a boat is gonna say, why can't I bring my boat on?
Hold on.
Right, it would have to be- it would
But
have to
she's here for a
Hold
vote, so.
Hold on.
Right, it would have to be what she's saying.
Hold up. George get it drafted. You send the email to us. You can look at it. And then we get,
Hold on.
even some.
I will work with Caridad because,
Well, yeah, but we, no, you got
and I
coordinate.
think they should give me the language and then I can go ahead and work with the wording. But it will have to be to what all the vehicles that are named in the
In the
bylaw.
line, yeah.
It
Well,
can't just be one. We just can't be selective about which one we're gonna allow and not allow.
again, you coordinate it,
It's gonna help.
you run it.
At least let's have a system in place.
It might help, if you can get a
People are
homeowner.
doing it anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, they're doing it anyway.
You run with it, send it to us, we'll review it. And
Okay.
we come and.
So then you just give me the wording and then I'll run with the rest of the job.
We had a guy with a truck, he was in the meeting, in the fine meeting.
Yeah.
He came to the board, he said, well, I'm just gonna keep parking my truck there and I'll pay you the $100,
And maybe we can
$1,000
put
a year.
something that
and
you
it's
can
cheaper
stick
than
on
me
the
buying a
car,
parking space.
like a
That's what he
papel that
said.
says temporary or something,
Right.
you know,
Well,
like,
right.
so everybody else can see and you know, we're not.
Right, exactly. You didn't just do this on your own. We have another question, I'm sorry.
We have an RV.
Just a minute, just a minute. I'm coming with you. Want to finish with her? I don't have to go back to her.
Yeah,
So,
so,
let's-
wait, one
Let's
last
finish
thing.
with her.
So I'll have to wait till next month, because we're leaving Thursday
Yes.
for the long weekend.
We need to try to approve it for next, we need to at
So
least
I
put the
can bring it
procedure.
Thursday to Lou.
Not right now, since we don't have a procedure in place. I mean, if we're gonna do this, you brought in the concept, and I agree with you, but you need to give the board now the time to go through the process of creating the form, sending it out to the community and everything else. That's what we should do, that's the responsible way to do it. I'm sorry, but that's not the answer you want to hear today.
Not really, but.
Any other questions?
Yes, you have a question?
It's the same problem we had. We had an RV, and now we're into the keys, June, July, and August. How am I gonna be able to load the RV? We have a boat. We have to pay $300 a month for the boat and RV. Where can we wash it? So, it's like.
So, we're trying to put the solution in place. Of course, I don't think most of us were aware of this. I don't know. I just got on the board today. So I'm gonna try to help in any way that I can, the board and the community. That's what my role with here will be. And I think that if the bylaws don't state that we cannot, bring it in, then we should look together as a board of a way to allow you to do it and put a system in place that puts, accountability and that we're aware of what's been going on. I think that's, Richard came up with a really good idea with the form, and I think that all of us together can put our heads and get a solution.
We can work it out.
I think it's manageable. I think so.
Good.
And Caridad, she's doing a really good job, and
Yeah.
the community has turned around a lot since she's been here. I've been here for 22 years, and I know
25.
how this community has turned around, and she's doing a good job, and I know that she'll be able to help me with the drafting of documentation and things like
Yeah.
that.
She's
So,
pretty good.
yeah. So I think that all
We'll
this,
work it out.
we'll work it out.
We want everybody to be happy.
Great.
We answered everybody?
Yeah, we're good.
We'll work it out, don't worry.
Anything else?
What's the, what's that? Any question?
No, just asking her why I don't get emails anymore
Tell her email.
from her in particular. And the last email that I had was general, somebody wrote something in Spanish.
We don't write, I don't know how to write in Spanish.
I don't know, but there was a general email that said I said in Spanish.
I have enough trouble speaking Spanish, right? Not gonna happen.
Maybe you got an email to, because you were linked to the Marbella Park HOA email, right? He was linked too, right, Fritz?
Say that again?
He was linked to the Marbella Park, to the one for the one that we're gonna add them to. Marbella Park HOA. Yeah.
on there.
Did you replace them? Did you place them on it?
No.
No, not yet.
Not yet?
No.
I didn't have the email there.
Well, what about,
You got,
if you're getting in Spanish, that's probably from the Marbella Park HOA, and somebody from the neighborhood was writing
he's
that.
missing something, so
Yeah.
I talked to you right after.
Hey, Caridad, just a question. We used to get the text and the emails. I'm not getting that anymore, just like me. For the monthly meeting, for the rest of another board.
We talking about something.
Okay.
We're talking about it.
Got it.
Okay, we're talking about it.
No problem.
Okay, no one have any other question or make a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Second?
We properly second meeting as well.
Thank you, guys.
9:32.
Mustafa,
Take a chicken seat.